Well, annual passes came back for a little bit in California. They're coming to Florida. We'll talk about that tonight. Disney's Animal Kingdom turns 25, and we're going to take a look at what's coming next for Disney parks. All of that tonight on ParksCenter. Welcome to ParksCenter for April 16th. 2023. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you, as always, for being with us. We appreciate you. And again, business out of the way first. Please subscribe to WDWNT TV for all the great content if you have not already. And please give this video a like, as it helps people to find us. And when I say us, I mean this fabulous crew we put together for you tonight, featuring Shannon. And she's so excited to be here. I'm assuming she's frozen. We got so. Emma.
Hello, everybody.
And Allie.
Hello, everybody.
And one more try for Shannon.
Whew, God, I thought I lost the stream for a minute there. Jumbo, everyone.
There it is. Hey, thank you guys for being with us tonight. We appreciate it. Please make sure to chat along with us in the chat. That's why we do this live. Super chat if you feel so motivated. We actually already had a super chat earlier from Oma Loves Disney asking the question, I just want to know what time APs will go on sale, midnight Eastern or 6 a.m. like dining reservations. And, you know, when they put them on sale for Magic Key, they say no earlier than 9 a.m. Pacific. When they put them on sale on the 20th, it will probably be no earlier than what we're hearing, 6 a.m., which really stinks. Like, come on, give us till 9. You know, make it a little bit easier for it. But we'll talk about that all in a second. We're going to talk about some Disney Parks news first, including, you know, there was a tragedy at Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe. Yeah, well, look, Emma's repping down there. So basically what happened is our boy Sunny Eclipse had a little bit of a malfunction and started draining some hydraulic fluid, leaking fluid, and falling onto his keyboard. That must have been devastating to see in person. Sunny just kind of stopping, leaking, and then slamming his head down on his keyboard. So, you know, what we have to say is please get well, Sonny. We miss you already. We love you. Shannon, this is an animatronic. I'm going to go ahead and blow the lid off of this. He's an animatronic that was actually already, like, under maintenance, like, it seems like a month ago, and now he's kind of blown a gasket. What are your thoughts on this one?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm hoping because they put so much time into him recently that he's going to be okay. Because you already spent all that time investing on it. I mean, fix it. I don't care what you do, but don't ever get rid of our Sunny. Sunny, feel better soon.
Yeah. And you know what? Sunny is one of those things, like you said, don't ever get rid of him. That's an easy thing to do. They could go, you know what? There's a lot of maintenance involved with this. There's a lot of money involved with it. People are just coming here to get a nice Disney cheap hamburger, and they don't need to see Sunny Eclipse. We can just play some music. I just like you, I hope they bring him back. But Allie, I mean, you get to hang out with Sunny every now and then. Were you devastated by the news? Are you okay?
I think I'll be okay. I'm definitely sad for Sunny. Hopefully they fix him soon. The pictures of him and the comments that people are leaving on Facebook were hysterical. It's sad, but it's a little bit funny. You just look back at it, but hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, and then of course, Emma, you're wearing the Sunny Eclipse shirt. Where did you get that shirt, by the way?
Oh, you know, just a little site called CarouselProducts.com, you know, designed by the fabulous host of our show, Rob Whiteside. Anyway, I made a point of going to see, because of the maintenance that was done, see Sunny Eclipse. Got myself a Cheshire cat tail and walked in just to watch him a little bit, and he looked really good, like brand new. And this was beginning of March. I was in Orlando for the weekend for an audition, and of course had to make some time to go to the parks. But yeah, he looked really good. So this was shocking to me to hear that this animatronic they had just put so much care into is already having problems. So I'm wondering if, like, is it just because he's such an old animatronic that, you know what I mean? Like it's just maybe time to bring in a new version of the one that they already have instead of fixing the old one. I know that's a hot take. I know. But like you know what but I'm confused because I feel like Disney maintenance did a really good job and then all of a sudden he's having these major issues.
Were his little feet still kicking when his head was face planted in the keyboard? That's what I want.
Oh my God. Oh wow. That is a horrible thought as if he's having like some kind of a seizure. Oh my gosh.
Oh
No.
no.
No, I think that basically what happened is it just, he stopped and then as the fluid leaked, as the pressure was released, he just kind of fell over. So, yeah, I agree with all these sentiments. Get well, Sonny. We miss you. We love you. The shirt that let's talk about the shirt because I mean you can get a shirt on this is not support Sonny in any way, shape, or form. But you can get a shirt on CarouselProducts.com. We actually have that one, and we have this one for the Space Angels, which was actually one of my favorites. But the Sonny one's been a little bit more exciting. Or if you really just kind of want to quietly rant, you can get the Donde Está t-shirt, which we also have Donde Está maintenance, because maybe that's still the problem. That's the thing. Like
I'm not
Fantasmic,
wearing that one tonight, but
Fantasmic is going down again for maintenance, and I was like, didn't we just reopen that show? And then here we have this. So there's a lot of this stuff that I worry about. Like have the components aged so much that it's just going to be hard to fix? And if that's the case, what are they going to do? It would be horrible to think that they would just take Sunny out and replace it with something else. But I hope that they know how much people love that, and that we all kind of make a special trip over to Cosmic Rays to see Sunny whenever we're in town, and hopefully, he'll get well soon. So
just to clarify, I didn't mean because there's somebody in the chat like saying get rid of him. I didn't mean get rid of him. I meant like just update the animatronic, still have Sunny, but just like a new, better, like updated animatronic version of him.
Yeah.
So calm down, everybody.
Yeah. No, don't calm down. Get mad. Double down is what I say. Don't calm down. I'll just drop Emma's phone number in the chat, and y'all can call her directly if you'd like.
Please.
So let's talk about pass holders because I think we're all pass holders on here for Disney World, right? And it's one of those things where we've always been afraid to drop it for any reason because they're hard to get back, and so. The Magic Keys in California. Let me rewind this a little bit. At the stockholder call, Bob Iger was asked the same question that Bob what's his face was asked before, where it was, "Are you bringing back the Premier Pass for both coasts?" And the answer was, "No, we're not, because there's not enough interest." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? There's not enough interest? Okay." And then right on the heels of that, we get the announcement that they're bringing back sales for the Magic Key and for the annual passes. So the Magic Keys went on sale already and pretty much have sold out, unless you want to shell out the $1,600 for the Inspire Key. I think the Southern California one still available too?
I think that one, yeah, it was the top tier and the low tier were still available.
Yeah, so the other ones that, like, those of us not in California could buy, you can only buy the Inspire, and the Inspire is the $1,600 one that is still blocked out for Christmas and 4th of July. So, and that's I get why they did that. It doesn't make me happy that you pay the most for that one and you are still blocked out, but I get why that happened. But they put them on sale, and they went pretty fast. Then for the annual pass holder in Florida, they put on the Sorcerer's Pass on sale, and I think also the Incredipass for DVC. And now this week they're going to be selling the annual passes again. I don't know, Shannon. I'm going to go ahead back to you on this one. Do you think this is because, Bob was on the call and people were asking about it, and he's like, "Hey, let's see if we could get these back in again," or do you think this was always part of the plan? It just seems like they've wanted to limit how many people have an annual pass, and I kind of get it, but at the same time, that's got to be a lot of money for them, right?
Yeah, I feel like bringing the pass holders back was inevitable, but I think we're all going to be surprised to see how this plays out. Like, again, I'd be shocked to see if they halt sales at 8 a.m. when they go on sale at 6 a.m. Again, that's money for them, right? The Premier Pass. I personally don't get it. I guess there are people out there, Rob, who would use it. Why not take that money? So I think there's a lot that's still up in the air, although I'm excited that people are going to have the opportunity, especially out of state again. Who knows if they're just going to let a little out and then close the door again.
Yeah. Allie.
Yeah, I mean, I have to renew my Florida pass by the end of the month. But I don't know why they're doing it or why they're not doing it. I had a Premier Pass. Like for me, it made sense because I live by Disneyland, obviously. And then if you did the math, as long as you went to Florida enough times, it was cheaper. So maybe this is just their way to get more money from us. But yeah, we'll have to see how many Florida passes they are actually going to sell. I know here, since they've released the Magic Keys a few more times, it's really hard to get reservations. Like you have to really be on the website like the night before. So unless you book it a few weeks out, you're really kind of waiting until like 8, 9 o'clock at night to be like, ooh, I hope I can get a pass for it. So I don't know. I don't think there's got to be a reason why they do what they do, but it just never makes sense to me.
Yep. All right, so the passes that go on sale this week are the Incredipass for a mere $1,400, the Sorcerer's Pass for $969, the Pirate Pass for $749, and the Pixie Dust Pass is $400. No change in that one because it's kind of, I don't want to say like for anybody that already has one, but it's kind of garbage. I mean, you can go anytime that they feel like there's nobody there. So, but it's a good deal. I mean, $400 to go during the weekdays. I mean, if I was local, that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah. So, I mean, again, that's a very affordable price when you think about Disney and theme parks is $400 for a pass that gives you all year, but it is very, very limited. They pull back at holidays, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, the Incredipass is back up this week, so it'll be interesting to see. Like you said, Shannon, do they sell out immediately, or do they keep them open? Because it would be nice not to have that anxiety of, hey, they're going to go away. So every time my renewal is up, I always have to renew just in case. Now I'm going to go anyway, but it's like the rest of the family, like, do I really need to renew for you? As opposed to our good friend Rob Bazemore only renewed for himself and his wife. And it was like, forget the kids, not important, just as long as we get to go. So yeah, and again, for all of you out there that don't have a pass and we're wanting one, just make sure to tune in this Thursday and make sure to get your pass, because it is one of those things that, if you go 3 or 4 times a year, it'll pay for itself. You get the 20% off, you get the, you get that magnet. That magnet, it just basically pays for itself right there. You get that magnet. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to Tron yet again. Let's talk about Tron just one more time, because the last time we were on was the day before Tron was actually officially opening, and the argument that I've always had was it was already open. I mean, soft open, everyone had already ridden it, but it was one of those where, like, okay, now it's officially open. You've got the new little quick serve. You've got the launch depot actually opened, which is one of those things where we weren't sure it was going to open, and then it did. So the launch depot is now open, which I have to get used to this. The launch depot, it took forever for me to figure out the name of it, and now it's the launch depot. So it is a place where you used to go and get all of your Space Mountain merchandise, which was basically a mug and a cookie jar, and everything else was generic Disney stuff. And now you can get Tron merchandise, and the next time I go, I will be buying a lot of stuff here. So this is open. Let's talk about the merchandise first. Allie, you're jealous because you're out on the West Coast and you don't have Tron merchandise. You got to get out to East Coast and buy some, and you'll buy one of everything?
I will not buy one of everything, but we did actually get some Tron merchandise out here a few months ago. I remember taking pictures of it. It looks cool. That thing that Eric built, what is it, a doll with your face kind of on it?
Yeah, call it a doll. That's great.
Okay, I don't know what it is or what it's supposed to do. It definitely was a little intriguing though, but for $100, maybe not. But yeah, happy everything's finally open. I just want the construction to be done in Florida at all of the parks. That's all I want. It's just endless.
Okay. Yeah, so the action figure thing, let's talk about that. because that's something they started to do in Pandora. That was one of the things where they're going to make
Yeah.
your own avatar. Did any of you guys ever do that?
Mm-mm.
Right, exactly. That's my point. I like, and they took it down for a while, and maybe for COVID, and then they brought it back. And it is expensive, and I didn't really think that it looked too much like you. This one has sort of a projection kind of a situation in the helmet that makes it look like you. But as much as I love Tron and as much as I love merchandise, this one's not high on my list to do. I don't know. Shannon, are you going to get one made?
No, absolutely not. I have to blow that $100 on another piece of merchandise that I don't need. But it does. You're right, Rob. It reminds me of the Anna and Elsa animatronics in Frozen. That's what it looks like. It's terrible.
No, no, that's a
Okay.
good point. Yeah. So, if you check out our website, wdwnt.com, Eric Morton had it done, and it's fine. I mean, if it was. So, did you guys ever watch The Big Bang Theory? There was an
Yes.
episode where Howard had
Yep.
an
Oh
action figure
yeah.
made of
3D
himself
printed.
and his. Yeah, yeah, with a 3D printer.
Yeah.
He had one made of himself and of Bernadette, and they looked just like them. But when he and Raj ordered some first, and when they came, like he looked like a toucan because of his nose, and there was like, it's like okay,
It was
we're
so
gonna do these
bad.
ourselves. So I mean, if you're paying $90 for this, I feel like it should be a spitting image, but I feel like it's just an action figure with a little projection of your face on it. So, the one other thing I wanted to talk about with Tron, which was a big shock, is this weekend, and it may have been today, 93 minutes until
Wow.
the virtual
Uh,
queue filled up at 1 o'clock, which means that people who are park hopping at 2 still had an opportunity to get in and get in the virtual queue for Tron. That's very encouraging for me, but I'm worried. Basically, I think the problem is the parks right now are pretty empty, like right this
Mm-hmm.
minute. Obviously they've been pretty packed up till now, but right now they're a little bit empty. So I guess it had something to do with that. But 93 minutes, again, that's exciting to me to think, oh, are we already over the virtual queue part of this? Can we finally get to the point where like we could stand in line for a ride that we,
Yeah.
went down to see and actually get to ride it? Rise of the Resistance today, I went and looked it up, was 10-minute wait. What?
Ooh,
You're kidding.
what?
What?
It's old
10
news
minutes?
now.
Oh, is it? I'm pretty sure it was 90 minutes the last time I was there, so I'm not sure it's old news. But I think, yeah, and Mickey and Minnie was 50. There's a
Huh.
weird thing. So yeah, but anyway, 93 minutes. That's. I think that's just because of this weekend. It's just a little strange. I think we're over the whole spring break thing. We're not into the whole the summer hours yet. So I think this is probably just a slow time for them, which may be why they're putting all these passes on sale. Who knows? Um, let's move on to fireworks though. So I don't know if you guys have heard there was a little show called Happily Ever After that has come back to the Magic Kingdom. I'm gonna guess that the way she's smiling from ear to ear that Emma was a big fan of Happily Ever After and not a big Enchantment fan. Did you
Yeah.
want to talk about that?
Oh, yes. Let me just say, from the YouTube videos that were posted, and if you guys haven't watched them yet on the main channel after ParksCenter, please go watch them because with the new Main Street projections, I was blown away. I can't believe they like actually made the show better, and I'm really excited to see it. I'm gonna make a point of park hopping to Magic Kingdom when I'm there in May almost every night if I can, just to go see the show from as many different angles as I can. I love Happily. I love the music. Are great. The projections on the castle are great, and the way that they added them on Main Street is fantastic. I can't say enough good things about the show, and I am so happy that it's back.
Okay. Well, so I mean, I guess you're still lukewarm on it. Shannon, how about you? Are you excited that this is back?
Of course, obviously. I can't wait to see it again. Enchantment, I never saw it in person, admittedly, but saw it many a time on YouTube, and I didn't really care for it. So, really, really happy to have this back, and I hope it stays back for a while as it deserves.
Yeah. No, I get that. Let me ask you, Allie, Epcot Forever versus Harmonious, head to head. Would you really give the win to Epcot Forever?
I never saw Epcot Forever. I watched the video of it, but I really just do not enjoy those barges in the lagoon. So
Yep.
anything to get rid of those. And the thing I didn't like about Harmonious was that you could only, like, unless you were dead on the center, like, it didn't look great. Like, you couldn't tell what was going on. So, yeah, maybe Epcot Forever is the better show if you can watch it from more parts around the lagoon. But please,
So,
just barges go away.
so this
That's all
this
I want.
view of this taco barge carcass makes you happy then?
Wow.
So happy.
I
Get rid of
mean,
it all. Just tear it all out.
Yay.
so sad. Look at that. Look at that. They just ripped the thing to shreds. This is the thing that we were just like, no, clearly they're not going to rip this to shreds. And so you can see already that one of the barges is already gone. So in the words of the Count, one. There you go. But when you're looking at them, like it just seemed like okay, these are huge pieces of technology, and the LED screens. And you talked about this a little bit, Ali, when you were there for your run. That they had, they had the logos on the barges. It's one of those things that in the daylight, the barges looked like the screens looked amazing. So if we could put those somewhere that wasn't in front of the World
Yeah.
Showcase pavilions, maybe that would be cool. But apparently, their only option was to drag them out and beat them with a baseball bat, Office Space style. So.
I would have paid to go be able to hit one of them. Like, I would have paid for that.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Right?
You guys are mean. That's all I'm going to say. You guys are just mean people. And I'm here for every bit of it. So let's move on to the Genie Plus, because we've talked about Genie Plus a lot on this show, and the fact that Genie Plus was not only the highest price that it has been since it was launched, and I'm just like, when it was like $20, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of like Max Pass was. That's all right. And then it was, when I was there, it was like $25, and then it was up to $35. What? And then people were buying them like it was air, and I get it. I mean, it's spring break. You want to be there, and you want to get your money's worth out of the rides, and you can't ride things because the line for Frozen Ever After is 90 minutes, and you want to make sure that your kid gets on it, so you go ahead and pay for the Genie Plus. But the problem with the Genie Plus too, especially when you sell out like this, is you get so few options, and for the things you want to do. Like if you think about Epcot, you've got Test Track, and you've got Remy, and you've got Frozen, and you've got Soarin'. Basically, are the four you want to get a fast pass or a lightning lane for. Everything else is going to be walk on all day, pretty much. Obviously not Guardians because that one's not in that tier, but everything else. So if you like, what I've run into is I go to book, say Remy at 8 a.m. and it's already at like 6 o'clock is the earliest time. If I've got to wait another 2 hours, by the time I go to do Test Track, we're almost running out of day. And so it seems like it's not like it's almost at that point like I'm paying $35 to ride Remy. So, but I feel like it's a little better in California when I feel like I get more value out of Genie Plus in California. And you've been on both coasts, Allie. What do you think?
I think you do get a little bit more value out here. The issue out here, though, is sometimes I don't know if they're just not limiting how many lightning lanes they're selling, but like if a ride goes down or if it's just crowded, the lightning lane, you're still waiting a long time. Like I know we've gone on Guardians a few times and we still end up waiting like 15, 20 minutes just to get through the lightning lane. Or Rise of the Resistance, when that goes down, it's like an extra 20, 30 minutes to get through that line. But there's definitely more rides out here, and then since you can bounce back between the parks so quickly, but it's definitely an issue though when those lightning lanes get backed up. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I rarely buy it.
Well, I mean, you're there every day. That's the difference too, is that the people who are there every day, whether it's, Tom or the reporters, it's the people who are there every day or live near the Magic, which those are the people who are like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to buy it because I can go back tomorrow, or I can hit it tomorrow morning, or I get another chance to do it. But the people who, this is your once in a lifetime or once a year vacation, you're probably going to pay that extra money for it. I just wish that it was a set fee so you knew what you were getting into. I mean, running it like an Uber seems cruel.
Well, though I purchased, so I'll be returning to Disneyland very soon, and the tickets that I purchased included Genie Plus with it. It was like a bundle. Although maybe I didn't do my research thoroughly enough, but I always said Genie Plus in Florida, I would not use it, even though I'm not a local to Florida. I go there enough times that it's not worth it for me. However, having gone to Disneyland so infrequently, I want to get the most out of my time there. So I will report back on how that goes. But because I'm inexperienced, number one, and number two, I don't know what my ticket really entails, but to be determined, and I'll let you all know.
That's super comforting. I don't really know if this is going to work or what my ticket entails, but here's hoping.
I swear I bought it like a few months ago, but it was a bundle. It included Genie Plus, so.
Was it a
I can
guy
get it every
on the
day.
street in a raincoat that you bought this from?
No, I can tell you the website I bought it from. I don't know if not a spade pump.
I feel like I'm gonna show up one day and she's just gonna be standing out there like I can't get in.
Allie, have you heard of that? I've never heard of being able to buy Genie Plus ahead of time like that.
I think if you buy your ticket, you can buy it ahead of time. Maybe I don't know. I only bought one day tickets like during COVID.
What's COVID?
Yeah,
That sounds
stuff before we had Magic Keys.
that sounds made up. COVID. Yeah. Well, you know what, Shannon? Let's dig into that. I'm hoping for you. I'm hoping that it is everything you want it to be, and you can report back afterwards and let us know how it went. Let's move on to Disney's Animal Kingdom. This Saturday is going to be turning 25 years old. I think that's old enough to rent a car, right?
Yes.
So I mean, yeah. So it's one of those things where Disney's Animal Kingdom turns 25. It's wild, isn't it? No, nobody. Anyway,
I just want to. Okay. Sorry, I found my tickets. I just needed to confirm
oh
that
Lord,
they are with Genie Plus. It's a thing. You can buy it as it's a 5-day park hopper with Disney Genie Plus, ages 10 and up. The more
Okay.
you know. So that is a life hack for getting around the Uber pricing.
were you trying to convince us or trying to convince yourself this was the right thing? I feel like it was. That's
herself.
the way that. Yeah, I think so too.
David
Um,
Long said I'm right.
okay. No,
David.
I'm totally with you. We're all on board. So let's talk about Disney's Animal Kingdom. I honestly I'm pretty excited that it's turning 25. I feel like I've been celebrating all of these: the 30th anniversary of Hollywood Studios, and the 40th of Epcot, and the 50th of the Magic Kingdom, and now the 25th of Disney's Animal Kingdom. And so it'll be interesting to see. We already know that they're going to have a lot of different merchandise and food. But Emma, what do you think that you'll be disappointed if they don't do on the 25th? That's how I want to phrase this. What do you think that they should be doing on the on that 25th anniversary day on Saturday? And if they don't do it, you're going to think they missed the boat.
You know, I like maybe I like hopefully, and this would be crazy, but if they like actually brought back like the OG Finding Nemo the musical as it was instead of this new version that's I don't know. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like they're always going to be these smaller celebrations than, I mean, the 50th really wasn't even that much to begin with, but you know what I mean? My expectations aren't really that high, which is kind of sad. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised since Bob Iger is back, and maybe he'll want to spend a little more money. Like, I hope they'll at least have, like, maybe Joe Rohde will show up and do like a special presentation or a special speech like at the beginning of the day. I think that would be really cool if like that happened. I don't think it will, but like that'd be pretty sick. But yeah, my expectations aren't really high for this, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know what, and for me, the presentation that they did at Epcot 40, I wasn't expecting them to do, because they didn't really do anything for Magic Kingdom 50, and they did this huge presentation where they talked about the park and and the history a little bit, not a lot, and then they kind of talked about what's next, and it was a nice little presentation. Mariachi Cobre played, the Voices of Liberty sang, like, that's what I want to see, something like that where they do pay some tribute to the 25 years that have come before it. When we saw the 30th anniversary of Hollywood Studios, it was almost like they pretended nothing has happened for the last 29, almost 30 years, and that it's like here's the future of it. It's Star Wars, it's Toy Story, it's new Mickey Mouse, and it wasn't really kind of a tribute to what had happened. So I don't know. I'm looking at some of this merchandise here, and I don't know if you guys have gone through it or not, but of course there's obviously going to be a cupcake. Oh,
Backpack's cute.
I agree. The cupcake is good. There's got to be a cupcake. The backpack is cute. This thing is interesting. I don't know. Like some of this stuff, like this. Allie, are you going to pick one of these up, or
Hard pass on that.
hard pass on that? Interesting. Yeah. So the Animal Kingdom, the merchandise they have, it's luckily, because I have such a merchandise problem, I don't see anything that I'm like, oh, I've got to have this. So thank you again, Disney, for helping me with that. But there was nothing day of here. Same thing, like maybe they will. Maybe they'll have some stuff that's day of. That's the thing that I wish they would do more of, is doing special things for the people who make the special trip to be there on the day. The special guidebook that can't cost them that much to do a special guidebook for the day. The poster on the way out, those little things, a button. They used to do buttons on the opening days of all that kind of stuff. I would love to see them do more of that kind of stuff, but who knows what they'll do. So just in case you were wondering what the Carousel Products is doing, we are selling our own merchandise for the 25th anniversary. And come on, look at that shirt. That's so much cooler, right? And then we've got this T-shirt here, and we pay homage to the original Camp Mini Mickey without, like with the little feet underneath the boat, and then we got Pandora and all that kind of stuff in there. So, and honestly, I would have said that I'm not interested in the stuff they're selling before I told you that we're also selling stuff. But we're really excited to be there we're going to have our own little event, which is going to be an unauthorized field trip to the Animal Kingdom. So we're very excited to be there for that. So let's move on. We'll talk a lot next week about the Animal Kingdom celebration and the 25 years and all that stuff on our show next week, after we've been able to be there and experience it. Let's talk about the Crack to Track. You all saw that story, right? That the monorail track was cracking, and I was just like, why? Here's the problem. I knew we needed new trains. I didn't know we needed a new track.
I know.
Right? I mean, and it almost looks like something like that the Imagineers cooked up for Tower of Terror, the way that this thing is looking. Yeah. So, you just, like, it does cause you some pause to go, do I want to be on that train? This is the kind of thing that, like, you need Mrs. Incredible to make the train track underneath to save the city if something happens there. I know that they've needed, like, monorail to me is like, that's the iconic Disney thing, is the monorail, and that's the thing that I feel like was the coolest to me. But now it almost seems substandard compared to Skyliner when you're at Disney World to me. So, Shannon, thoughts?
That is rude and insulting. Skyliner will never,
Take that.
Skyliner will never touch the monorail. Skyliner is horrible. I get nervous that this is going to put the monorail out of commission for a while. I hope they have something that they can just reinforce it, but don't ever say that, Rob.
I will say it a lot. I will say it so much. Okay, so here's the thing. Lady, look, listen.
It's not the inferior transportation. It's not.
So when I most of the time when I go, I try to stay at Pop because or Art of Animation, because when you get on the Skyliner there, you don't have to wait like you would for a bus or monorail. You just get on it. It takes you up. You go to the station, then you pick which way you're going. You go to Epcot or you go to Hollywood Studios, and from there you have a beautiful view of the park as you're going down. But nothing drops you closer to the entrance at Hollywood Studios than the Skyliner. It's very easy transportation. The only time it's a pain is when it's rain, like it's a storm and they shut it down. At that point, I will curse it left and right. But the rest of the time, it's like the ride I never knew I wanted them to install at Disney World. Yeah.
There's no air conditioning. People are hot and sweaty, and you have someone that's 2 feet in front of you that you have to sit in awkward silence because there's no music except the occasional like.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Horrible.
First of all, you're wrong. Secondly, the monorail. I love the monorail.
The monorail's horrible.
Like the original monorail, like when I was a kid, I loved the monorail and the fact you could ride in the front. You can't do that anymore. I agree with Allie. It's packed. Sometimes you get there and you're like, do I want to go Resort Line or do I want to do the Express? Because sometimes Resort Line is faster than Express. And so, you know, when you're trying to figure that out, but then you get in there and rather than replacing these monorails where the doors were falling off and they were, you know, getting stuck and all that other stuff, they decided to just wall carpet the interior and call it done. Like these things have been in service for too long. So I think they need to replace them. I'm not saying that I don't like the monorail. I love the monorail, but these monorails need to be replaced. And once they do that, I think they need to put more into rotation so that you don't have to wait as long for that. But I mean, I know that everybody hates on the Skyliner, but I'm a fan. We'll talk afterwards.
That whole, let me just say that the second I saw that on news today, that just sent a chill up my spine and made my anxiety spike through the roof. I was like, no, I will not. I don't know if I can want to risk it. Like, it just made me spiral in a way. I was like, like the monorails already have like kinds of issues like with just the vehicles themselves, let alone the beam. So if the beam is having a problem, heck no, I'm sorry. Like, Disney, come on. This is your most iconic mode of transportation that you have. Like, please take better care of it.
Yeah, no, agree. But the fun part is this was not the topic. Skyliner v monorail, but I'm looking at the chat. Jarrett is monorail is packed and it stinks. Care Bear goes, I'll stick to the bus. Like that's how much she's like, no thanks. Matthew says Sky Buckets is still the GOAT. Yes. Dawn says the Skyliner is fine when it works, which again, I have never been more angry or like when I got to, you know, when I'm like, I have everything timed perfectly. I walk out the back of Epcot, I'm getting to the Skyliner and it's not moving because of the storms. And I'm like, I'd like to take a risk here and get on, please. Go ahead and run it. And if something happens to me, I'll sign a waiver, but I need to be on this thing right now so I can get back to my place. Team Minivan. Nice. Of course, yes, of course you would say that. I'm sorry, it was the limousine not available for you, ma'am? Okay, all right.
Wow, Shannon.
Yeah, she's bougie. We've established this. She is bougie. Let's move on to something else before this gets too out of hand, too late. So when we go to back to that call that Bob was on, Bob Iger, you're familiar with his work. Bob was talking about the rights for Marvel. So if for those of you who don't know, the Marvel attractions, before Disney bought Marvel, the Marvel attraction rights were sold to Universal anywhere east of the Mississippi. So that's why Disney can build, the Web Slingers or Avengers Campus and things like that on the West Coast, but you can't build it on the East Coast. That's why there's not a big Marvel sign over top of the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. It's called the Xandar. So because they can get away with doing stuff like that, which I'm torn about. Because that's one of those things where, like, I get it that I would love to have Marvel. I'd like to have a whole Marvel park. That would be fantastic.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think Marvel Superhero Island, am I really going to say this? I think it's better than Avengers Campus.
Ooh.
Because it's one of them's the movies and one of them's the comic books. The Spider-Man ride for sure is better. The Spider-Man attraction at Universal to me is better
Oh, yeah,
than
way
most
better.
centers.
Agreed.
So, but I mean, the rest of it's carnival attractions, but the Hulk roller coaster is not as good as it used to be, but it's still good. And then the Doctor Doom Fearfall and the Storm teacups, or whatever. But like the meet and greets and the music and the artwork, it just feels very comic book. And I would love for them, if they were going to do it right, to have the rights back to be able to do this kind of stuff. Allie, you've been in Avengers Campus, and I think you spend 90% of your time there in Pym's Test Kitchen, maybe, I don't know. But tell me about,
Tasting lab.
yeah, the tasting lab, of course. My apologies. But you tell me if you think that Disney needs to like find a way to get a hold of these rights or what.
I don't think that they do. Like, I mean, they're building it. They already have it in Paris. They have it out here, and they're putting it in Hong Kong, right? And I don't know if they really want to compete with Universal for the same thing in Florida, because sometimes Universal does things better, and that may be something they're not going to win, and that may not play out for them. But I don't think they need it in Florida. I think it's okay. I do agree, though, an entire theme park would be fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like Emma needs to say something. She looks a little huffed up.
Yeah, because honestly, like Florida has the blessing of size, and I feel like you could do so much more than you could than what you've already done with California and the other parks. Honestly, like, because I really want a whole entire Wakanda land. Like, I want that to
Yeah.
happen. I want like a whole Doctor Strange land as well, however that would work. I think having, let's talk about, why not have a WandaVision moment where you can step into her town and into the hex that she created. Like, wouldn't that be sick? Like, or have like the TVA and you can step into the world of Loki. Like, there are so many things that they have to make a whole park, and honestly, I think getting these rights would be really great. And like, as far as something to compete with Universal, I think a fifth Marvel gate would be awesome to compete with Epic Universe that is going to be opening.
Okay, yeah, we'll make some calls. We'll get it going. No, I mean, honestly, again, like I said, I feel like that when I heard they were going to do something out west, I was like, this is awesome. This is their chance to take Spider-Man, the best IP, and be able to make something incredibly cool. And then they made sort of a not quite as good Toy Story Mania. And so, then I'm just like, what? Like, I love the pre-show. I love all the hidden Easter eggs as you go through the queue. All of that's cool, and there's a lot of neat things about Avengers Campus when you walk into Avengers Campus and you hear that music, but it's a different vibe than the one you get at Universal, because at Universal it's that comic book thing. It's the cartoon comic book version of it, and it's just there's a cool vibe around the whole thing, and the motorcycles come in and they're all there, and you get your picture taken with Rogue, and that the character dining they have there is super cheap. The meal is meh. But, I mean, you get to actually get, character dining with these guys and see Captain America and Spider-Man. So, to me, I think that there's a lot more that they could be doing. I do like Avengers Campus. I'm glad it exists. I just would love to see them do something really just awesome. I keep trying not to say amazing because of the whole Spider-Man thing, but I feel like there's something more that they could be doing with it. And a couple people in the chat were agreeing with that. So, anyway, let's move on to Dumbo. Dumbo, Allie, what's going on? What did you do to Dumbo out in California? This is the whole reason people go to Disney, is to take their kids on this rite of passage, and it is broken.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't do anything to it. There's always something down. I don't know why he's not flying. This
I
is kinda
mean,
sad, though.
shouldn't they just close the whole park if this isn't working?
I mean, you go to Marvel or you go to Avengers Campus then.
But
Go on rides.
I was reading another article about the Dumbo ride in general, saying that this used to be such a rite of passage for kids to be able to go to Disney and ride Dumbo, whether it's Disneyland or Disney World, and that them moving this attraction at Disney World made it less of a rite of passage because it's kind of off to the side in its own little thing now. It's not the thing you see when you walk into Fantasyland anymore. It's over to the side now. And so, Shannon, do you agree with that? That maybe it's not as special as it used to be?
Well, yeah, now you have the choice of elephants, flying carpets, triceratops. What else we got? So, like, yeah, but although you still have to give credit to the Dumbo attraction in Magic Kingdom that they moved because they made it bigger, and they also wasn't that one of the first occasions where they created this idea of like you're waiting, but you're playing around when you're waiting, and you're in the AC, right? The parents get a break, so. I can't knock it. I still think that draws people into that corner of the park. So I don't think it's terrible. But yeah, bring back Dumbo in Disneyland. Tell them I'm coming.
He is open. I just looked.
My Genie ticket
Dumbo's
needs to
open
get me
again.
on.
So.
Oh, Dumbo's
yeah,
open
okay.
again? All right, good,
Yeah.
good. But the whole idea, though, I get what you're saying, is they made it better. And I don't disagree with you. The whole idea of the interactive queue, and it's neat and under the big top when you go in. And there are two instead of one, so there's less waiting. But I just feel like, and Emma, you tell me if I'm wrong on this one, that it made it less special. Making it better made it less special.
I don't know. I can understand like it being moved to a different location why you're not as drawn to it, but honestly, like I think with Tron being there now, I think that's automatically going to pull some people to that part of the park because you can go to Storybook Circus right from there. I still think it is as iconic and as much of a rite of passage, like when you're a little kid, as it's always been, even though there are, because I mean, there were other spinner rides as well, like when I was a little kid, but like Dumbo is that thing that you remember, like that's the classic movie of him flying, and like that, so it just makes sense to me with that IP that it's perfect, like it still belongs and it's still a hit.
If nothing else, you do it for the gram.
Well, that part, but
All right,
the kids are using these days.
let's don't say that. Let's move on to the last splash. So we had the last splash at the Magic Kingdom, and now we're gonna have the last splash at Disneyland on May 31st. So that'll be your last chance to drop into the Briar Patch, at least in the continental United States. I was talking to somebody who used to work here, and I may have mentioned this before, that cast members, before we knew a date, were messing with her, telling her that it was closing on February 31st, which doesn't exist. And I'm like, say it again. February 31st. Say it one more time. Think about what you're saying. So, this is going to be sad. I was telling you, Allie, like, I would love to get back out to Disneyland. I was there for the 100 years and the Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway opening, but I need to get back out there. And I was looking at this and also Rogers the Musical, which we'll talk about later. And your suggestion was just do both. Is that right? I should just come out for both? Are you going to be there on the last day?
I booked my May 30th pass. I'll probably go early in the morning, do a few rides, probably hit it every time I'm there now, as long as the weather's okay. It's sad, but I understand why it's happening, and hopefully everything new is fantastic, and this will just be another chapter in this book. But
yeah,
I will most likely be there May 30th for the chaos.
For the chaos. Okay.
The chaos.
Yep. Did you get a last chance to splash on the East Coast, Shannon?
No, but I went on it plenty of times, so I guess in theory, yes, I just wasn't there for the last day. But my Genie Plus ticket is going to cover me before.
Oh Lord!
Oh Lord! I've not been on the Disneyland one, so it'll.
Oh, let me tell you, it is ridiculously less comfortable than the one in Florida. I will tell you that much.
Oh, it's so fun.
That's true.
I mean, it only takes 1 to 1.5 people my size to basically submerge the log. And it's single file, so it's like, you're basically snuggled up with other people the same way you are at Space Mountain in Florida. But I don't know. I got to ride it with Tom and someone else the last time I was out there, just to ride it one more time, just in case. And afterwards was absolutely drenched and miserable. But then again, it was January, so that's just what you get. So last chance to splash, May 31st. Just make sure you put it on your calendars. Get out there one more time if you're on the West Coast, and and ride it one more time. But new things are coming, and we'll talk about that near the end of the show. So let me talk about this. This is again, I used to call this like the rap sheet, and I've decided to move it into just calling it nonsense, because there's so much nonsense that happens in the park. And so I have 4 stories here, folks. 4 stories. I'm going to let each of you pick the one and you can double up if you want to, but I'm going to let each of you pick the one you want to talk about with this ridiculous nonsense, starting with, I think one of my favorites is people using this ridiculously weird-looking child to buy more merchandise than the limits. That's a lot of work to go through. That is the worst heist I've ever heard of in my entire life. Then you've got this little baby. Florida man gets drunk. I love it when the titles are this long. Florida man gets drunk at Disney Springs, warns the police they better hope he's never their nurse. Then his family abandons him. Yeah, no, that looks about right. Then this one, irate guest bites off chunk of woman's middle finger over fireworks spot at Epcot. Let me remind you folks, this is Harmonious, the one y'all said was not all that great. It is worth biting fingers off of, so just put that in the back of your mind for a second. And finally, social media personalities jailed for selling fake Duffy and Friends plush on Chinese TikTok. I feel like we've got a good assortment here. So Shannon, I'm going to give you first crack at it. Which one do you want to talk about?
Definitely the drunk man in Disney Springs, because respect to his family for being like, we don't know this person, we're abandoning him, and like letting him suffer the consequences. I feel like too many times the families start to rally behind each other when there are fights in the parks. These people had common sense and were like, yeah, this guy, no good. Get him out of here. Respect.
My favorite line from this article is that he was quoted as being belligerent and cursing at and in front of children. Cursing at children? I can just imagine this guy like drunk on up to a little kid going, "What are you looking at?" Like, you know, I don't know. Like, it just, what? This is very strange. All right, okay. But, I mean, come on. His hair is on point. Let's just give him that for a mugshot. Come on. Look at that. That is, that, and his eyes are a little red, so maybe he was under the influence of something.
So cool.
Yeah. All right, Allie, what you got? Which one? It could be that one, too, if you want.
No, I'm gonna go with the biting of the finger, because I just read that one
because you've
before
done
we
that
hopped on
before.
here.
Okay. Yeah, you've done it before. I remember that.
Not for Harmonious, maybe for other things. That is insane. Like, how does it get to that point? I just, like, there was a fight and they were yelling, and then she figured out later that her finger was bleeding, and then they looked at it and there was a chunk missing from her finger. Like, this is just insane. I don't even, like, I don't even know. How does it get to that point?
Well, is part of the problem that she's from California? Is that the problem?
Oh.
No, the lady from California had her finger bitten off. It was a girl from Pennsylvania that did the biting.
Right. No, I just meant that she
that
didn't
makes it
recognize
better, but...
that she didn't recognize that it's happened is what I'm wondering here. It said the sheriff's deputies observed a chunk of the meaty portion of her middle finger was missing. That's descriptive. That is graphic. Meaty portion.
I don't know.
Yeah. Which part is that? I don't know.
What part is the meaty part?
Yeah. When questioned by law enforcement, Emily denied doing anything wrong. Well, of course. All right, Emma, bring us home. Which one do you like?
The fake baby, honestly.
Yeah, I'm so glad you went fake baby.
I'm like, come on. Like, that's not even, it doesn't even look anything close to being.
I love his jaunty stance, by the way. Like, what is that? Like, did I do that?
Like, at least put him in a stroller. Like, if you're gonna go that far, I don't, like, come on, guys. Like, reselling, it's wrong. Like, just don't do it. Like, it doesn't matter how hard you try. Like, at this point, you're gonna get caught. Like, cast members know what to look for. Like, it's just.
Do they though?
I don't know. I would hope so, but I have no idea. I just was shaking my head at this one because I thought that the reselling had maybe we had finally seen the lowest of the low, and yet it stooped to a new one. So.
Well, yeah. No, I was like, how real could this baby look? Because I mean, I guess if it was in a baby carriage and you're pushing, you could be pushing a dog in a baby carriage if the dog was covered up and go, oh, my baby's in there. Don't they get also two limited edition as well? But these people went all out with the hat and the vest and the like leading, like the doll's leading with its pelvis. What's happening there? I don't really know. But let me just say that this one that we didn't pick about the social influencer selling fake Duffy and Friends plush on the Chinese TikTok. First of all, haven't we been complaining that TikTok's owned by China? Why do they need their own? I don't know. And then on top of that, like I'm doing the math, and it says that they made $436,000, but even though they were spending 22 months in jail, 22 months in jail for selling bears. What are you in for? Murder. What are you in for? Selling bears. I don't really, that's like crazy. But the penalty, like the penalty for them, like the financial penalty was $116,000, which means that they get to keep $310,000 of the money. Is that right? Like,
no.
Okay.
That can't be right.
That's what I'm saying. It just is like, really? I don't know. That's kind of crazy. But you know what? If you need a Lena Bell doll, you need a Lena Bell doll, even if it's a knockoff. You have to have one. That's the thing. All right. So thank you for doing that with me. Let's wrap this up by talking about another festival is on the way. We always have a festival. However, here's the interesting thing to me on this one is that the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival of 2023 is beginning on July 27th. Now, for those of you keeping score at home, the Flower and Garden ends on July 5th. That's almost 3 weeks cold turkey without a festival. 3 weeks.
Wow.
Last year, it was 9 days. So, I mean, like Shannon, I mean, I assume you're avoiding Disney like the plague during those 3 weeks, because why would you go?
You're never going to believe it, but I'm going during that time. It's a true story.
That's hilarious.
I am.
But
I just
mean,
assumed
that there would
I
be
didn't
one.
know. Yeah, I did. But you know what? Maybe this means it'll be a downtime, which people claim there's no downtime anymore. So maybe that'll be the time.
Was Genie Plus included with that as well?
No Genie Plus there.
No? Then I'm baffled. I don't know why you're going. But Emil's Fromage Montage is returning, which is like that's food and wine for garden graze is what that is. Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Squeak and Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit. I kind of dig, Allie, when they have overlapping scavenger hunts, because scavenger hunts used to be rare, and now there's like hunts on top of hunts. Like, you know, egg hunt and Spike the Bee hunt. You're just in it for the scavenger hunts, aren't you?
I'm totally here for the scavenger hunt. That's usually the first thing I grab when I get to Epcot. I get off my Skyliner because that's better. And then it drops you right at the entrance over there. And you can grab your little card and start on your scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
I think they're super fun.
They are super fun. I'm looking at the chat, and Michelle D says, no festival food booths. And Lisa says they want actual daylight between festivals. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? But I mean, you know, Food and Wine Festival ended, like 3 days or 2 or 3 days before Festival of the Holidays began last year. So it'll be interesting to see once they announce Festival of the Holidays where that lands. But you'll be able to do the Food and Wine Festival from July 27th all the way through to the middle of November. So go ahead and book your trips now, or if you've accidentally booked your trip between the 6th and the 26th, then I'm so sorry, and I guess you'll have to spend more of your time at the spas. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
That's going to be the trade-off, yes.
I'm so sorry for you.
Maybe I'll
okay.
stop and...
All right, well, let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and we will talk about what's next for Disney Parks. I'm excited to have this conversation, so please stick around. Don't go anywhere. ParksCenter will be right back.
Welcome to Deep in the Plus. Each week, join host Rob Whiteside as he and a panel of Disney superfans take a different movie or TV show from the Disney Plus catalog. They'll tell you its history, details, and give their review, so you'll know if it's worth your time. Current shows, classic movies, and everything in between. Watch Deep in the Plus live Wednesday nights at 9 Eastern for new episodes, or catch Deep in the Plus anytime on YouTube on WDWNT TV.
This program is brought to you by WIGS, the WDWNT Inner Globe Society. Support WDWNT to get early and exclusive access to content you can't find anywhere else, including exclusive post shows for WDW News Tonight and ParksCenter, access to our prize wall, a monthly Zoom with Tom, access to our Discord community, early access to our events, and much more, starting at just $2 per month. For more information, visit patreon.com/WDWNT or visit WDWNT.com and click the Patreon link. Join WIGS and unlock even more WDWNT.
Welcome back to ParksCenter. Thank you guys so much, as always, for being with us. And again, a reminder, please give us a like if you have not already. Please subscribe to WDWNT TV for more great content, including Deep in the Plus. Coming up this Wednesday is going to be Ron Deanna talking about the Sound of Music. So if you guys have not watched that one in a while, go ahead and cue that one up. I think it's like, I don't know, 100 hours. So tune in for that one. That'll be fun. Last week, Katie and I watched Brother Bear. That was a fun one to talk about. And then a lot of other stuff we've talked about. We've talked about Tron. We've talked about whether Toy Story 4 was trash with Desi. So there's a lot of that that we've been talking about. So please tune in Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. for Deep in the Plus, and find other episodes available now on demand on WDWNT TV. It was funny. I feel like Shannon is trying to start a fight again in the chat, asking Desi if she's Team Monorail or Team Skyliner. I think it's out of context to just ask the two together. We had some context with this one, please. Thank you very much. It's all fine, though. Monorail because they don't let double strollers on the Skyliner. Well, that seems pretty personal and specific, Desi. There you go. But again, thank you guys for being with us. We appreciate it. We're going to have our discussion tonight is going to be about what's next. So we've talked about a lot of things that have finally come to fruition, like almost 6 years before Tron has been, you know, it's been in the making for that long. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is now open in Disneyland. Magic Happens is back. You know, we've got Toontown back, is, you know, the rehab has finally happened there. So there's a Roundup Barbecue opened up, even though it seems like it should have been able to have opened up 2 years ago. That happened. So a lot of things that we've been checking on a regular basis have finally become open. So I think that the big question is, like, what now? Like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Cosmic Rewind, that's open. A lot of the things that we've been waiting on have been, you know, there. So I thought what we'd do is check up a little bit on some of the projects that have been under construction or that we've been waiting on. And one of the things that I want to ask before we talk about that, I didn't talk about this during our Animal Kingdom / Earth Day, but in Disneyland, they're going to have a National Geographic photo spot. Allie, I don't get this. It's I mean I get it, but talk about out of context. Like, if you didn't know that was the National Geographic logo, it's like, oh cool, here's a large yellow rectangle that I can stand in front of and have my picture taken, or behind. I feel like it looks like in front of, though, because it looks like there are bushes behind it. Is that
you
special?
can walk behind it. It's funny because, like, you come through security and then you first see the yellow thing that you just showed, and then there's the elephants, and then there's the sign that says, oh, National Geographic elephants. So
yeah, which would you rather have your picture taken in front of, the yellow triangle or the yellow rectangle, or these very cool looking elephants? I think it's a no-brainer. Give me that triangle, or the, why do I keep calling it a triangle? It's a rectangle. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. It's crazy.
It's all
so
there.
Anyway,
there for you.
Yeah. So at the the investors call that we've been talking about several times. Our good friend Bob said that Disney is investing 17 billion with a B billion dollars in Walt Disney World over the next 10 years. That's quite a statement to say that you know investing $10 billion, because again, there aren't a lot of projects on the table right now. We did see at D23 some blue sky stuff that that Josh D'Amaro kind of threw out there as like, what if? But there's really nothing in the like immediate announcements that's big. $17 billion, that's a lot of money, and that's great that they're investing that much in the parks, because I feel like it's been kind of the cash cow they've been strip mining to help pay for things like ESPN and Disney Plus and everything else that the company does, or when movies like Strange World lose 200 and some million dollars. So so again, what I want to kind of talk about is not what's just coming to Disney World, but also the stuff that's coming to Disneyland. And I know I kind of queued up some things that I thought we should talk about tonight, but one of them I think that is like first and foremost, and we've sort of talked about it a little bit with Splash Mountain, is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So this is coming very quickly to Disney World. They've already started doing things like removing the tree from the top of what was Splash Mountain, so I guess that they could put the water tower up there, or Mama Odie's ship. How excited are you about this one, Shannon? Do you care? I mean, is it one of those things where you're like,
Odie,
go ahead.
but we need to make sure that Ray is in the ride. That is most important for me. So I'm happy that she's there. I think she's one of my favorite characters in addition to Ray. So I'm happy that they're taking bits of the movie, because it felt like they were going to model this off of its own little side story. And maybe they are, but I think that's a positive.
Do you remember this from the movie?
I mean, the fact that there's Tiana. Yeah,
I don't know. I look at this and I think it is going to be an after the movie thing. So some of the coolest things about that movie, though, were them being frogs, Dr. Facilier, Ray. Like, those are things that theoretically you can't do.
Facilier, too.
Yeah, that you can't do in this. Like, I can picture them playing "Are You Ready" as you're going up the hill, especially if they don't fix the track and it still is as jittery as it was before. And, you know, like the whole "Are you ready?" like all the way up the top, right? Like,
and
that
then
would
when you
be
get to the bottom, it's, you know, going down to
Friends
New
on the Other
Orleans.
Side. Oh,
No.
okay. Some of the stuff that they've some of the stuff that they've done to this, though, where they jumped in and they're like, hey, first thing we need to do is destroy this rock work down here, tells me that there was something else going on there that they meant to fix for years and never got a chance to. Maybe, I don't know, but it was like they just jumped in. They're like, okay, everybody's out, we had our last splash, good, this needs to go. I mean, like, that seemed to be the first thing before they put up all that scaffolding. That was the first thing to go. So I assume there's something that's been like eating at them, saying this needs to be fixed before anything else. And that looks like the kind of place where maybe you'd have some sort of a slowdown or a braking system at the bottom of the hill. So maybe it's to control the water a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. All I know is it's weird that they decided to start there. And boy, howdy, did we take a lot of pictures of it too. We took every picture we possibly could of that construction going on down there. So this is coming soon, but this has already been closed, and they're already doing construction on this one now, but the one in California doesn't close until May 31st. So, Allie, you assume that this one in Florida is going to open much sooner, right?
You would think so, but honestly, who knows? Depends how much work they have to do on each side, right? I mean, if ours is a little easier to tear down and change, then maybe they'll open at the same time. And then we have the restaurant thing as well. So I feel like they're going to want all that together, maybe.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Okay. And Emma, are you excited about this change?
Yeah, you know, I mean, Splash Mountain is and will always be an iconic ride, but I understand, like, I completely understand why it has to go, and like, I think bringing Tiana into the parks, I think it's due. I wish that she had gotten her own new attraction instead of a retheme from something that already exists, which I kind of understand is from a Chapek era decision. But
Who?
you know, oh, you know, the guy that's supposedly out behind the dumpster behind the studio. Oh no, that's Baby Chapek. Anyway, but you know, I'm excited to see Princess and the Frog finally get represented, because I think it's a fantastic movie and it deserves to have something in the parks. It really does.
Yeah. And Allie, you were talking about them changing the restaurant in Disneyland to be Tiana's Palace. So we have that's another thing that is coming soon. So here's the concept art of what that's supposed to look like right here. This is what it looked like in the movie. This is what the concept art looks like, and it looks like this right now. So it's very close, I think. Basically, we just kind of decided they're going to put smokestacks up and repaint the front of it. Is that what basically is happening here?
That's kind of what it's been looking like. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're doing a ton of cosmetic stuff. It looked like it was a pretty easy fix just to add the smokestacks, paint, a little bit of decor, and slap Tiana on it.
But we haven't heard an official opening date for this, but it definitely feels like something that could open sooner than later, especially with all of the construction that's going on with it now, right?
Yeah, it seems like it probably won't take very long once they fix everything. I mean, all the inside and everything, I'm sure is fine. I don't know what they're changing the food to. If they're changing it very much, because it was already kind of French themed.
Yeah.
But I wish they'd just given her a sit-down restaurant. Like, this just seems like an afterthought, but...
What? That's crazy pants. Why would you say that? Okay. So let's talk about something else that's coming to Disneyland, if we can, for just a second here. It's our friend Kamila loves the idea of Rogers the Musical. Rogers the Musical is coming. I'm excited about it. I know I'm joking because Kamila was like, I don't know what that is, and I just stared at her for a long time when we talked about that.
What?
How could you not? What?
What?
Do you not? Do you really not? Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I've explained it before. I get it. You know, you had to explain spas to me and how they work at the Grand Floridian. So it's only fair that I return the favor. And so Rogers the Musical was a bit that they did in Hawkeye, where he went with his family to see a musical that was based on Steve Rogers. And so it was inside of the show Hawkeye that he has to go see this musical, which just makes them look ridiculous because, like, the Hulk looks ridiculous. They're all singing. It's supposed to be like the Battle of New York, and they like made it just so cheeseball corny. And so that's kind of the bit. And I think a lot of people are like, I would love to see that musical. And then when they at D23, they actually staged. I didn't get to see it, but they staged sort of a scene from Rogers the Musical, including a song called "I Could Do This All Day." So I cannot wait to see this. This is like meta on top of meta, and so I'm excited to see this. It comes in June. So it's very soon that this is going to happen. I also love the fact there's something going to be in the Hyperion Theater, because it has been a waste of space ever since they closed Frozen, which was before COVID, and they just never reopened it. And before that, Aladdin was amazing, and I hated to see Aladdin go. But I thought the Frozen show was good. It's just a little long. Allie, would you agree with that?
I never watched it. Not a Frozen fan.
What is happening with this panel tonight? I don't understand. All right. Well,
I think Frozen's overrated. I'm just gonna say it. There we go.
Emma, as the thespian of the group, bring us home on this.
I love this idea so much. I can see the show having its run in DCA, maybe having a version on the cruise line, you know, with all the Marvel stuff that's on the ships. I think that would be fantastic. I mean, why not even do a Broadway run? Like, wouldn't that be sick to have a Marvel musical? Like, even if it's cheesy and kind of makes fun of musical theater, I love stuff like that. Like, I honestly, I think this is genius. And I think the fact that they're using Star Spangled Man with a Plan and some other stuff that has already been in the films, I think that's great as well. Like, I honestly, I am so excited. And I can't wait
Shannon, I need you
I'm
to be
definitely
this
gonna
excited about this. This excited. Okay, please get on board with this. Okay,
Not
that's what
gonna
I'm going to
happen.
need. By the way, they did have a Marvel musical. It was called Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark, and it was amazing.
It's
Julie
terrible.
Taymor
No, it was
directed
trash.
it. Did you see it in person? I saw it on Broadway.
No, but I heard it was a dumpster fire.
I thought it was amazing. Rise Above,
I
Reed Carney. Look it up. The music
Oh
from
no, I know.
U2,
So I
Julie
did get to see
Taymor
Reeve
directed.
Carney. Yeah, I did get to see Reeve Carney in Hadestown, and he was great.
He was probably
So
like,
I'm
boy, I
sure he
wish I
was
was doing
great.
Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark.
No, not with that like death trap of a system that they had going on.
So a
Actors
lot of
getting
people
hurt
broke
and
some
stuff.
legs. It's fine. It was a good, I don't know. It was, anyway, so Roger's musical coming. Let's move on to the next thing back at Epcot is the Journey of Water is actually becoming a Journey of Water. It looks like it's actually getting close to happening. I was jokingly calling it Journey of Dirt because it was a dirt pit for so long. But this is starting to look pretty amazing. I'm excited about this one because this is something where, there wasn't really anything before. And now you've got, she's upset now. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, had to kill a bug.
We've been there. Was it Spider-Man? Never mind. So when I look at this, I'm like, they've plussed out the park when they do something like this, and it also kind of reminds me a little bit, Allie, of the Redwood Creek. To be able to have something to kind of go and explore, and hopefully there won't be like a virtual queue or anything like that. Hopefully you can just go through and explore it. I mean, I'm sure eventually it'll get to be that way. But I'm excited for this, and maybe we decide to do a Villains Trail and do like an Oogie Boogie Bash East Coast and run it through. Come on, you could. Talk to
Yeah.
somebody. Let's make that
Yeah.
happen. So Moana, Journey of Water opens up this fall, and again, we don't have a date for that at this point. We just know this fall is when it's going to be coming. But one of the things, again, on that shareholder call that Bob Iger talked about was that Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, is the final element of the Epcot expansion. For those of us who were keeping track before, that means no Mary Poppins attraction, no play pavilion, and no what was the other thing that got canceled?
Festival
Festival
Center.
area.
Well,
Yeah.
the festival area is now going to be the Communicore Hall, but the overhaul of Spaceship Earth was part of that as well.
Oh.
So none of those things that must be in like the next phase, but the final element of the expansion tells me that Play Pavilion looks like it's going to be permanently on hold until they decide what to do with that area, which is a shame, I think. So one thing I am looking forward to, and I think that you said this earlier, was it Allie? You said this, that it would be nice for Florida not to be constantly under construction.
Yeah.
So
I
they're
feel
actually
every-
even.
it's just- yeah.
Yeah, they're
That
adding
looks
stuff
nice.
like this. Yeah, and although I think they have a miss here in the fact they didn't use the logos for the seas and the land and Spaceship Earth next to it, because they went to a lot of trouble to tell us when they were redoing these world celebration and world nature that they were going to be bringing back those logos. I feel like they should be on the signs. But overall, Allie, how are you feeling about this being the end of the Epcot expansion?
I am just so excited to just be able to walk in a straight line through Epcot and then not have to look at top barges. That's all I want for life. So hopefully when I go back in November or January, that will all be a reality.
Well, you're asking a lot, though. I don't want the barges and I don't want walls. Gosh, come on, lady. What do you want? And by the way, let's have a slight reminder. They've never discounted this park. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been jam-packed with, like, just basically, building things all the way through it. Walls have been up since the dawn of time here. So it's kind of sad that that's how all this has been playing out. Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited that this is going to happen. The one other thing we didn't talk about that's going to be part of this is Dreamer's Point, which is the Walt statue inside of Epcot. So there'll be one at DCA and one at Epcot, one at Magic Kingdom, one at Disneyland. Shannon, what statue of Walt are we going to put up at Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom?
Why am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of California Adventure, right? The one where he's got the jacket slung over.
Yeah,
Am I making
yeah.
that up?
No, that's
Okay, I thought that was in. Well, in Hollywood Studios, he had a bust,
oh
right?
yeah, but so did Bill Cosby, and see where that went.
Oh God.
So,
Animal Kingdom. I mean, he's got to have some kind of adventure-like statue, right? But where would you put
like
him?
him in the skipper's hat, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
The one last thing that is coming to this that is this Communicore Hall, which, like you guys talked about, is not the festival center we were promised, but apparently the festival center we deserve. And so it looks like it's going to have sort of an outdoor or amphitheater type of a feel to it, attached to a festival center. So hopefully that, the weird thing about that to me is that they used to use the what was supposed to be Play Pavilion, the old human body pavilion, used to be where they would have overflow for festivals, but then they shut it down to build Play, and they're building a new building here that's going to replace a building that they had knocked down. Doesn't seem to make sense. Make it make sense, Emma.
I wish I could. I will try. Again, I think this is just, again, a remnant of the Chapek era of things being budget cut. And then I think with the transition as CEOs, maybe there wasn't like enough time for things to fully come to fruition with the Play Pavilion. Maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of sad that didn't see its way all the way through this expansion, because I honestly, like, you can call it done, but it's not done until you really do something with that building, because it's still going to be sitting there, even if, Walcott is over with and all the construction is done. Like, I don't know, there's still something, like, it feels like there's something missing over in that area if you don't do something with that building. I mean, it is nice to have a festival area, I think, kind of towards the front of the park. We'll see what they do with it. I think it's kind of fun that they're calling it Communicore Hall, harkening back to the OG Epcot Center. But I don't know. It's like, it seems like they couldn't make up their minds with what to do. Really, the fact that this thing has changed so many times with this whole, like, festival center to them being a festival area to then it all just being swept under Communicore Hall. But to me, like, even though it's going to be finished with Journey of Water, it's still not finished.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm excited to see all this happen. I think probably by the fall is when we'll see Dreamers Point, Communicore Hall, and Moana Journey of Water all take shape and be done. So hopefully by Epcot's 41st birthday.
Yay.
Just in time. Shannon has thoughts. What you had your finger up.
I have a breaking news side note, but because we did mention the desire and or possibility of Joe Rohde being there for the anniversary, I can confirm as of 2 hours ago that he tweeted, no, he will be supporting from afar. He will not be at Animal Kingdom for the anniversary. Just thought everyone should know.
Yeah, you got any more? Well, I was not expecting it to happen, but do you think he did it because of the us talking about it? Let's just pretend like he did.
Probably, yeah.
Well, then we can blame me.
So let's talk about Shannon. While we're talking to you, let's talk about this. Your new favorite hotel, the Polynesian Village Resort, the way that it was intended. Thoughts?
Clearly. I mean, if they were going for high-rise hotels, high-rise buildings in Hawaii to make it look like that, then I guess, yeah, they're right on the mark. I don't know. It's jarring, right now, because that area was always this really nice transition between the Poly and the Grand Floridian. Like, you really couldn't tell where one ended and one began, and now you're just going to have this giant building sitting right next to the wedding pavilion, which I feel bad for anyone who gets married there now. But I think over time we'll all get over it. We'll get used to it. It's just going to be a part of the poly. So it's already up.
I was going to say, but look how authentic that it's just like right out of Moana.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Concrete.
Here's what it's going to look like when it's done, and even that, it just looks like a modern version, and I'm not sure that that's that's the intention the original Imagineers had for the escapism of the Polynesian, but. On the other side, like I've talked to people like my wife who are like, oh, are there going to be more restaurants? Are there going to be more shops? I'm in. And I'm like, really? Okay. So, we'll hold out hope that they'll do something good with this and make it nice and pretty. I think they did a better job, and Allie, you tell me if you agree with the DVC tower that they're building at Disneyland, because at the Disneyland Hotel, while you can't tell from this picture, it looks like it's going to fit in with the buildings that are adjacent to it and at least be part of the kind of the vibe that they already have there, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to kind of seamlessly fit in with everything. The thing that's most contrasting for me, though, is just like that got rid of all the sun. So everything back there is really, really shaded now. So if it's cold, then the pool there's no sun on the pool. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but that will for sure fit in a lot better than that disaster we just saw at Polynesian.
The disaster that we just saw. One of the things
about it.
What? How would you know? I'm just kidding. So let me talk to Kevin.
I know.
When you go into, we have to talk about that in the post show. I have to know. One of the things though, because of the DVC tower coming to Disneyland, is that they are turning the section at the top of the former Star Wars launch bay into a DVC lounge. And that, according to our notes, is supposed to open this week. Is that still correct, Allie?
I don't know. I'm not DVC, so I don't get to go.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll come out there and we'll go up.
Someone bougier than me will have to go check that out.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but it looks like it's the same sort of vibe that you would have gotten at the one at Imagination, but just no windows. To the outside world, but
and no door.
But which offers you this? Okay, so but it says it will open on April 19th, so I will be interested to see if that one opens. But I had that on my list of coming soon because it'll be nice to have more amenities DVC wise, because that's the thing when you go out to California for DVC, you've only got like the 7 rooms that they have available at the Grand Californian, and that's it. Now they're going to have a whole nother tower at the Disneyland Hotel, and you're going to have this DVC lounge. It feels like now there's actually some West Coast value to being DVC. So not that I'm trying to get you into a timeshare here. I'm just saying, like, as someone who actually bought into it, I feel better about the fact that they're going to have that. And then also, it looks like they're going to have some interesting spaces at the new hotel too. So excited about all that kind of stuff coming. Let's talk about something else that's coming. And Allie, I know you're excited about this. San Francisco is coming to Disney California Adventure. The area formerly known, or will be formerly known as Pacific Wharf, is becoming. You're going to be stepping right into the movie of Big Hero 6, and I know Baymax your boy, so you're
my favorite.
You're team San Francisco here, right? You're okay with all this happening?
I am. Yeah, I mean, I think the parks need to constantly change. The Pacific Wharf area was cute, but it's good for it to change. I think it's a good merge of the two things. I was really sad when they got rid of Baymax at EPCOT and never brought back his meet and greet, and now I can meet him every week here, so it actually worked out even better. Hopefully I think they're keeping most of the restaurants pretty similar, which makes sense to the theming. They're adding, I think, a beer garden, which we all know I'm here for that. I think it's going to look cute. Hopefully the bridge doesn't look, I don't know, we'll see what the bridge ends up looking like. But
yeah, I mean, right now it looks like this.
No, it's open.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the walls are gone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they just don't have the big, tower thing up on it yet, but it's all painted and everything.
Okay. Well, I'm excited.
Lanterns and everything? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see how it looks. It's going to be interesting to have San Francisco. But don't you think, though, I think the argument a lot of people are making now is that, like, how much of this is really real California at this point, right? How much of it do we really, are we really calling California? Because you've got Pixar Pier, and you've got, you've got Avengers Campus, and now you're going to have San Francisco. Like, do you think that it still represents California?
No, not even a little bit. But I feel like we're so far off the rails now. We're just going.
You're like, that's out the door. We're done.
DCA just is what it is, and I love it for that. So
yeah, I don't know that I have the right crew here to talk about Star Wars, but I'm excited about the idea that they're going to have more character interactions coming to Galaxy's Edge. Oh, yeah. So I mean, they've added some things that they said they weren't going to add, like the Mandalorian added to the East Coast. We knew that West Coast they were making exceptions to the timeline and all that. But Emma, you're excited about there being more characters in Galaxy's Edge, even if they're not specifically Force Awakens.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, the fact, like, I understand it breaks the timeline and it kind of ruins the whole original concept of when we're supposed to be in Galaxy's Edge. But, like, the fact that they're bringing new stuff to this land when we didn't get what we were originally promised, like, it's just nice to see that they're putting more money into something that was severely budget cut and put behind a gigantic paywall that is the hot, well, great, I should say, because, I've heard nothing but good things, but the hot mess of a price of a paywall that is Galactic Star Cruiser. So it's just, like, I think it's really great to see this Mando character coming in with is Baby Yoda, is Grogu supposed to be an animatronic puppet, or is he just a puppet?
He's real. It's Grogu.
Yeah.
Hello?
Anyway, but I'm excited to see this meet and greet happen. I'm hoping to maybe, like, I would love to see some characters from Rebels come in there. Maybe, like, Zeb and Ahsoka and some other, I don't know how that would fit. But, like, if we're gonna open the floodgates to ignoring timeline and bringing in characters, why not bring in, like, as many cool things as we possibly can, But
Okay. All right, so speaking of Star Wars, now we're talking also that it's been announced that there are going to be new adventures, adding new locations in 2024 to Star Tours, which I find this to be very interesting because I feel like this is one of those things that we thought was going away once Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was a reality, that we wouldn't see this anymore. They'd retheme it out, west, kind of like they did in Hong Kong to like a Tony Stark Iron Man sort of a situation, or it's just it's weird to me. I like it. I mean, because Star Tours is one of those kind of like Space Mountain where you did it as a kid, you'd like to go back to it again. It's neat to see the different places and all that. If you watch Behind the Attraction, there's a whole thing on Star Tours which is really neat when Tony Baxter talks about how they went in and all the, like, how it has to recycle to go back and how they make allowances for that. So it's a really neat thing, and I've been waiting for them to do it for a while because it feels like something they should have been able to do all along. It's just a movie with some tweaks to it, so why couldn't they be doing this more often? But, like, again, waiting till 2024. Allie, do you think there's a secret reason they're waiting till 2024?
I don't think there's a reason for any of it. But I think I think adding new stuff is always good, and it keeps the rides fresh and makes people want to keep going on them, so they need to keep doing it. I think it's a good idea.
Okay. All right. And then, I want there to be new locations and new reasons to ride these things. And also not only for me to go see new things, but also to get people to go back to these attractions so that we can have more time to go to the attractions we want to go to. Genie, the free version, can send them to Star Tours all day so that we can get that 10-minute wait on Rise of the Resistance. That'll be fun. So for the most part, that's, the stuff that kind of we have a lot of information on, except for the treehouse. The treehouse is coming, and Allie, you've seen this. I hate to keep throwing the Disneyland stuff to you, but you've lived there more than we have. So the treehouse is coming Do we know when it's opening, and how's she looking?
I was there Friday. She's looking real good. They took a bunch of the walls down. You can see the ship. You can see some of the pathways and the bridges. It looks good. I don't know. I should know when it's opening. I want to say soon-ish. It seems like it's going to be really soon. Like more and more, every time I go, it seems like there's way more stuff gone and like we're almost ready to go. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, you can see all that now. Bridges on the side. They pulled all the scaffolding down. I think we're almost there.
Well, I mean, that's pretty exciting. And, I liked Tarzan's Treehouse. I liked that it was different than what we actually had on the East Coast with the Swiss Family Robinson. I know this one is supposed to be Swiss Family Robinson inspired. So kind of back to the original a little bit, but it does look like it's kind of the next level version of the Treehouse. And I love that they've, I always thought it was cool that you could go in from the middle of the pathway. It was just such a weird entrance way to get into it, but at the same time, I love that they've moved it because of the traffic flow, especially since they send everyone that way to Galaxy's Edge, etc. So, or like coming out of, when Phantasmic dumps out, that's not a place you want to be when that thing was there. But it definitely looks pretty cool. Again, the same way as like Moana Journey of Water, it's something that you can adventure through at your own pace as opposed to something like an attraction that, you spend an hour or a minute and a half on it and then you're done. So it's something that you can adventure on. So I'm excited to see that one. And then what else did I have on the list here? So there's supposed to be a new sound system has been put in at Disney Animal Kingdom for the theater in the that used to have kite tails in it. So the Discovery River Amphitheater has this. They've gone to the trouble to put this newly themed sound system in here. Do we think they're finally going to put a new show in here?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Did you guys, Shannon, were you a big Rivers of Light fan?
You know what? Honestly, I never saw it, but I appreciated the music. So I don't know why that was a flop.
I mean, it's a big area. If you look over here, you can see this huge area of water, and the amphitheater that they've built is very specific, kind of like the one for Phantasmic that they have at Hollywood Studios. It's very specific, and I think we've always hoped there would be something along the same level of World of Color here, because you can't do fireworks because of the animals, and so something where you just have water jets and things like that would be really cool to do here, or maybe a drone show. I don't know, we've been teasing that for a while, right? So it'd be nice to do something there since they have all of these nice seats. But the fact they randomly are upgrading the sound system tells me that maybe they have something in mind there that they're going to be doing. Coming soon with regards to Disney Parks, Disney Parks, Resorts, and Experiences, there's also the Disney Cruise Line. So that's the other thing that we've talked about a little bit, is the fact that the Treasure is getting even closer to being a reality. The Wish has already become a reality. The Treasure is coming soon, and then on top of that, we have the ship that they bought. I think we were talking a little bit beforehand, Shannon, that you're kind of a cruise ship fan. Are you looking forward to these?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. I've been on Disney Cruise Line twice, and I'll be taking my third journey. I haven't been on the Wish yet, but I will say the drawings looked amazing. From what I've seen on vlogs, the decor comes across as a bit tacky, and I'm afraid that the Treasure is going to look the same way. So I'm only speaking from what I've seen from other people's experience, but it doesn't look great.
Can you be less positive about this? Come on, lady.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not saying
I
I would turn down a cruise on the Wish or the Treasure. It went from like classy cruise, right? Like that, it was cruise lines are an experience, and it's kind of seen as more high class. And the Wish to me looks like it was a bit overdone, like it was taken a touch too far on the decor.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to see they're going to double down with the Treasure based on everything I've seen.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, They may not do it with the one that they bought, just because they're going to have to make do with the spaces that were already in place before they start building it. But I think with the treasure, they're probably going to double down on that. So we'll see what happens there. Let's talk about the things that haven't been announced, that have been teased, and we talked about a little bit at the top of the show. Josh D'Amaro. Josh, we love Josh. Josh D'Amaro got up on stage at D23 and he brought out some Imagineers and he said, have we ever thought about what is on the other side of Big Thunder Mountain at the Magic Kingdom? And then they kind of take this visual artwork over the top to see these 3 different lands. And I'm not even sure that they are lands. I think this is so blue sky concept that they're not even really sure 100% what they're going to do. But you've got sort of the land of Coco, the land of Encanto, and a villain's land on the horizon. So apparently, people took note of how positive people responded to villains. There were rumors back at the dawn of time that there would be a 5th gate and it would be all villains. Like, Emma, you talked about 5th gate of Marvel, but there had been like a what if a villains park. People love villains. That would be something that you could do. But they're talking about building a villains land in Encanto and Coco, they're all great IP to be building on. I can't see this happening anytime before. I'm going to go ahead and throw this number out, Shannon, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong. 2027?
Yeah, probably. And you know what my fear is? That it strays too far from Walt's original concept of Magic Kingdom, of you have Main Street USA, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, Adventureland, and Frontierland. And I feel like by adding another quote-unquote land, you're taking away from that. So I'd rather see them expand somehow, build upon Frontierland. That's just my fear, but that's me saying I'm hoping it never happens, and maybe we can put it elsewhere.
Wow. Beverly 2020 says with 17 billion, you're definitely getting a villain's land. Well, and again, blue sky, it could be anything. The other thing that he talked about, Emma, was he talked about Animal Kingdom and Dinoland, and talking about how people are like, oh, we should do something more with Dinoland. Well, obviously you should, because you just took out a roller coaster, and you've got this theme park attraction, a carnival attraction, like this roadside attraction, which was the theme of it, that was done on the cheap, that has basically, like you were talking about earlier, Shannon, the Dumbo, the Triceratops, is there, and then some prizes, and that's it, and a Dino Dig, and the dinosaur attraction, which I like the dinosaur attraction, but we're looking at this as we could go in and make a Zootopia and a Moana area. Emma, are you on board with that? You think they're going to do that? And again, same question, 2028, 2030?
I think Zootopia is something viable. And I've said this before on this show too, that I don't think Moana fits in Animal Kingdom. I really don't. I think it would be really cool if they, and I don't know exactly, because Moana is such it pulls from different Pacific Islander cultures, so it's kind of hard to pick just one. But I feel like you could almost, and she's already going to have an attraction in Epcot, but if you actually added some type of, you picked a Pacific Island culture and give it its own Epcot pad, or I think you could give Colombia a spot in Epcot, and you could put Encanto there. I don't think, and Coco, I could see that could be an interesting flow from Frontierland into that somehow. Again, I'm not sure how they would make that transition work. I think villains, the idea of a villains land, Shannon, I'm glad that you brought that up, of the other lands in Walt's original vision, because that is getting me thinking about how that transition would fit. But I think it would be a smart move, only because you already have Mickey's Not So Scary, and you had a Villains After Hour, and if you have a land, you could incorporate that into those events that you already have established at the Magic Kingdom. So to me, that's the one that makes the most sense as far as what's already established. But I'd be interested to see how they're gonna make it fit with the other lands and that transition as well. and maybe tie it to Haunted Mansion somehow, if that's even possible.
False. Let's not do that. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm looking. If anybody's looking at the chat, basically Desi's in here filling it with the Moana logo all the way down. So she's definitely Team Moana on making this happen. But there had been a rumor at some point that there would be like a Tafiti volcano roller coaster added to Adventureland. That would have been cool. I would have been cool with seeing something like that. I just want there to be new and more. I just don't want them to keep replacing things that exist. I mean, we talked about that. I think maybe you used the words, Emma, the blessing of size in Florida. The fact that you don't have to build on top of things. You don't have to take down the Streets of America and the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground and Lights, Motors, Action and all these things. You could add to these things or make a whole Star Wars theme park instead of just, making it a land on top of Hollywood Studios. There's a lot of stuff that they could do in Florida that I would love to see them continually add to rather than subtract from. And then also you've got that space that is, that they've let basically go to pot, that area over by Animation Courtyard. Like, you've got stuff that you could do over there. Maybe you take down the Little Mermaid attraction and all that stuff over there and maybe make something that's a walking into the world of Moana, but you've also just done a water ride at Epcot, and so that's, I don't know, I mean, not water ride, but water walk-through attraction. One last thing I want to talk about, and this is going to be, I'm throwing you this one, Allie, is the Disneyland Forward project, because this is, again, the pie in the sky that we're talking about, the what-if scenario. And for those of you that don't know, they put together this Disneyland Forward initiative to say, hey, we've got this land that is over around the Disneyland Hotel to the left and the right, where we could take parking lots and make them extensions of our parks. I think at one point there was a talk about making a third park, but instead making an extension of the parks and then also a new kind of recreation area over down to the east of where the parks are now. But you can see this little orange and the blue bridge that they're kind of wrapping their head around the idea that, hey, this we could take like Disney California Adventure and add to it almost maybe like half again the size. Same thing with Disneyland, moving it over here. And the stuff that they're like, pitching is stuff that already exists. Like, hey, we're already making a Tangled Land. What if we did another one of those? We're already making a Peter Pan and a Frozen in other countries. What if we did those? What if we did a Zootopia or, for gosh sakes, let's make a clone of Toy Story Land in Florida for California. But again, like, I feel like this is so far away. I get excited about it, but I feel like it's so far away, if at all.
Mm-hmm. I just don't see it happening. I think it would be brilliant if it did happen, but I just don't see how they're ever going to get all of that approved. There's room, but there's not room. I hope they figure it out and they do some really creative things with it and not just more repeats. But like you said, I don't see it happening.
Well, I mean, they've clearly defined the room, Allie. Look, it's right here. Look, see, look, they've got it all. It's all laid out. It's right there.
Tiny. Like, it's not a lot of space.
Yeah, true. I don't know. They keep trying to do these things in California, and I keep wanting them to happen. Here's like their like bird's eye view of what all that would look like. The Neverland up on the left, and they keep trying to do these things like, the hotel that they were going to build at downtown Disney that they didn't build, or the one they were going to build at the other side. And, I hope they can do something to continue growing that as a resort, because it's amazing what they've done in the past, 20 some years to take it from just a one park with one hotel to 3 hotels, 2 parks, downtown district. It's a whole resort now. And, while it's not anywhere near the size of Disney World, it has become something pretty special. And I hope that they continue to do that there. Let me just, as we wrap this up, I want to go around the circle here and ask, and we'll start with Emma and we'll work our way back up to Shannon and ask, what is the one thing of the stuff we've talked about, or if there's something that I missed that you think that you're the most excited about coming from Disney very soon? And I know that Shannon's answer is already Rogers the Musical, but we'll still get around to her in a second.
That's what I was gonna say, Rogers the Musical.
That's what I was gonna say too.
I'm so excited about it, and I'm so glad that they you know, because I was already hopeful that something would come of that once they had that bit in Hawkeye, and then also like gave us the full version of the number at the end of the last episode. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see something come back to the Hyperion, and hopefully maybe they'll use that like they did before, and you know, have a show there, give it its run, kind of work out the kinks and like test run it there, then put it onto the cruise line, and maybe even further than that. So makes me very hopeful.
Okay, all right, and Allie, you can say the same thing if you want to.
Yeah, I'm for sure excited for Rogers the Musical. That side of the park needs some help, and it'll be good to have something to do over there. And I am, of course, excited for Epcot to no longer have walls and barges. That's where I'm at.
You want too much out of life. And Shannon.
Yeah, well, similar to Allie, I dream of a day where we sit here and do ParksCenter and Epcot isn't still a pile of dirt in the center for years on end. truly unfathomable how it can still be in that state. But, you know, of things that could be, I'm still hanging on to Poppins in UK. I know it's dead, but never give up on your dreams, everybody.
I don't know the concept art of what we saw with the teacups indoors. She deserves better. Like, I would love to have some sort of a dark ride. I think that would be fantastic to do. I love the idea of the whole, you walk into the Banks house and there's, you know, some like Enchanted Tales with Belle like reveal that takes you into where that other stuff was. And any time you can add an attraction, like I said, instead of taking away, that's great. But you know, for me, I'm excited about the possibilities of everything. I honestly, you know, just want there to be more things open and more things on the calendar so I can start planning of when I get to go see these things. I think that you guys both nailed it with, I just want Epcot to be open again. Honestly, like, I'm excited about Moana. I can't wait to see what they've got in store for this Communicore Hall and the Dreamers Point statue, but you know, it just needs to be open again. And then once it is, if you want to add Mary Poppins without taking away something else, I'd love it. That'd be great. And also at some point we're gonna have to talk about Spaceship Earth getting a refurbishment.
Yes,
at least the track, if nothing else.
Yes.
So, yeah. But let us know in the comments below what you guys would like to see or what you're most excited about for the future of Disney parks. And thank you guys on the panel for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Ran a little long tonight, but I think it was worth it to talk about this stuff. Thank you guys at home for watching. Again, one last reminder, if you have not already, please give the video a thumbs up so people can find us. Also, I just want to say shout out to our WIGS members. We love our WIGS, the WDWNT Interglobe Society. We have a quick post show after this. You know, if you want to find out more about it, you can go to patreon.com/WDWNT and join the family. We would love to have you, and it gives you post shows for some of our shows and other benefits and inside information about our big events, like the Wild at 25 event that we're going to be doing, our unauthorized field trip to to Animal Kingdom on Saturday. So hopefully I'll see you guys out there for that. And again, for our WIGS members, we will see you in the post show. So thank you guys on here. Have a great week, and we will see you next time.
Kwaharini.